All right, so a few days after the Bradley Beal trade, I just kind of wanted to break down, after like further analyzing the trade, after going over it, I kind of wanted to break down, what I really thought of it. And I think the first big thing that I want to get into, finally, Bradley Beal is out of the Wizards. Like, I think people have underrated throughout the years how good Bradley Beal really is because he's playing for the Wizards. Not a lot of people, not the casual fan, not the once in a while fan is going to watch Bradley Beal. He's not going to get as many primetime games. He had one small window that felt like maybe a year or two with John Wall. It just never materialized. They had some teams with Paul Pierce and all that where they won that series, but other than that, pretty much just had nothing. He's been in the rumors for, I'd say, every year since 2018, maybe every year since 2017. I swear there was some 2017 that had him going to the Cavs or something back then. So yeah, he's been in the trade talks every single year, but yet they never cut ties with him. And then finally, they're like, you know what? We're just going to end it off. We're going to break the straw here, and we're just going to trade him away to Phoenix. And so first, when I look at this trade, I'm like, what is Washington thinking? That's what I'm thinking. Right off the bat, I'm like, what is Washington thinking? They trade it for because they're going to buy Chris Paul out, so they're getting essentially nothing for that. I think Landry Shamet and then several second-round picks, because remember, Phoenix doesn't have a first-round pick since 2030, till 2030. They traded them all away in the KD deal. So why would they do this? The reason they did that is because Bradley Beal is the only player in the NBA that had a no-trade clause. And so what happened is they backed them in. Bradley Beal backed them into this corner to where wherever he wanted to go was where he was going to go, or they were going to get nothing for him. Because with the no-trade clause, you have to agree. If you're the player with the no-trade clause, you have to agree to where you're being traded before you make the trade. So I think the three teams in, you had Miami. Well, no, I know Miami was in. Possible Clippers might have been in, and obviously Phoenix. All of a sudden, even if the Heat or the Clippers had a better package, if he's set on the Suns, he can still decline it. The Suns had the worst package, but they somehow got it done. And so Bradley Beal's gone. So a lot of people ripping the Wizards organization. Well, obviously they made a mistake by giving him the no trade clause. That was dumb. But if you look at it, they were backed into a corner, and they just wanted to move on. There was nothing else they could do. There was nothing else they could do at that point. So then you put together this team in Phoenix. You have Bradley Beal, Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, and the big man DeAndre Ayton. Unless they might swap him for two players, but I say keep him. And then on the bench, you got like Cameron Payne, got guys that don't really matter. And I'm thinking they're going to fill it out with a bunch of ring chaser type guys. You're looking at a really good team. You're looking at a team, if healthy, will win the championship, or at least get to the finals. If healthy, if you're telling me if that team stays healthy, they're not making it to the finals, you're crazy. But that's the thing. All these guys are injury prone. Kevin Durant has his injury problems. Bradley Beal has had his injury problems, and Devin Booker. Devin Booker, the least of the three, but they're all injury prone, all of them. But, if I'm Phoenix, I understand it. I understand the trade. The problem is, if you don't win a championship within this year or next year, we're going to be looking at this as one of the biggest collapses of all time. One of the worst decision-making within the front office of all time. Worse than the Brooklyn, because they don't have a draft pick. They don't have a first-round pick till 2030. So if this bombs, they're looking at chaos. And they have all this money they have to pay. So we're looking at chaos if it doesn't happen. But, I'm happy. Bradley Beal finally has a chance to contend. I think if they stay healthy, they should win the West. But, we'll see. We will see.